So, what are they doing there? It doesn't take that long to get from Egypt over to Canaan. And here they are. They're in their second year in the desert. What are they doing there? The reason God has them there in the desert is because they are in trust school. When they leave Egypt, they do not leave Egypt as a well-ordered group of God followers. They leave Egypt as an unruly mob of ex-slaves indoctrinated in generations of Egyptian idol worship. And they're crossing the desert and they're going to the land of promise where they are supposed to represent the invisible creator God who said, "You will have no other gods before me. Don't build a statue and bow down to it. Don't make a cow and worship it saying I'm it." It's insulting. And they're not ready. They are not ready to represent this God. So the reason they are in the desert is to learn trust. And it's the question that God asks over and over and over again in the land between. Will you trust me? Will you trust me? Will you trust me? When Pharaoh's armies are attacking with their chariots, will you trust me? When you go 2 days without water, will you trust me? When you run out of food, will you trust me? When you're eating the same food every meal for 2 years, will you trust me? Trust is the glue that holds any relationship together. Can I say that again? Trust is the glue that holds any relationship together. And God says we're going to learn trust, and we're going to learn it here before we get into the land of promise. They are in trust school. One of the most profound things that can occur in your heart as you travel through the land between is for you to offer an honest prayer and a hopeful prayer. God, I don't like this space. I don't want this space. I don't understand this space, but I will trust you in this space. I don't like what's happening. I don't understand what's happening. I don't want what's happening to be happening. But God, give me the grace to trust you in this troubled space. I will trust you. I will trust you. I will trust you. It's one of the most powerful things that can happen in your spiritual journey. It's why the land between is fertile ground for growth. The land between is fertile ground for transformational growth. It is a greenhouse for growth. But it is also the space where faith goes to die. It can turn you either way. It can turn you toward the Father, or it can turn you away. It can turn you with open hands saying, I got to have your help here, or there can be a fist raised toward the sky. The land between is a greenhouse for transformational growth. It is also the desert where faith goes to die, and we decide. I have a confession for you. In my book, The Land Between, I write that when I am going through a difficult season in my life, I don't have to invite complaint to show up. It shows up automatically as an uninvited guest. I return home from yet another disappointing day, and complaint has moved into the guest room, unloaded all of its luggage, is doing a load of laundry, and is rooting through the fridge for something to eat. Even as I seek to evict it, as I move all of its luggage out to the curb and change the locks, it climbs back in the guest room window. Complaint resists eviction. It's possible that you've heard it said that good movement in your life pushes out bad movement. And bad movement in your life pushes out good movement. I think the way that we deter complaint's return is by inviting another guest into the house. And that guest is trust. And when complaint tries to move in, it discovers that guest already has the guest room and is using all the drawers and is taking the empty space at the dining room table. Trust evicts complaint. They are incompatible roommates, and one inevitably pushes the other one out. All I've been saying in this story is that the land that we hate the most can produce the fruit that we desire the most. The desert that we hate has the possibility of producing the crop that we most desperately need. Hear the testimonies from the land between, your brothers and sisters who would say, that's where we learned to pray. God's word became dear to us, and his promises became deep to us during that time. Before we went through that season, we used words like faith and belief. Meant we learned how to trust God in that space. We would never wish such a season on our friends. And in our better moments, we would not wish them on our enemies. But in that season, God did something in us. And I don't know if we'll ever be the same. In the desert, we learned to trust Him